Republican State Supreme Court candidate Jefferson Griffin has officially asked the state's highest court to throw out more than 60,000 votes in the 2024 election. He laid out his legal strategy in a filing today. Griffin is more than 700 votes behind Democrat Allison after multiple counts. In his filing, Griffin claims the State Board of Elections failed for years to collect voter registration information as required by state and federal law. He says ballots cast by voters with incomplete registration information should be removed from the count for the state Supreme Court race. Meanwhile, this is a live look at downtown Raleigh, where voting rights activists held a protest today. The people read the names of the thousands of voters whose ballots could be thrown out at Griffin's request. They were joined by some of the voters whose names are on that list, including the parents of his opponent. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie spoke with them today.
Yeah, voting rights activists have been out here for the past 12 hours, and they're still going. They're counting out the names of 60,000 plus voters that are being challenged in a lawsuit that could decide who sits on the state Supreme Court. Republican State Supreme Court candidate Jefferson Griffin is currently more than 700 votes behind Democrat Allison. He and the state Republican Party are hoping to change that outcome. They're asking the courts to throw out more than 60,000 ballots cast by people whose voter registration they say is missing information. State election officials do not agree. The list of challenged voters includes the parents of Griffin's rival, Allison. They came to the event to read out their own names.
And we are Christine Riggs.
And Jack Riggs, Allison Riggs' dad and mom.
And we would very much like our vote to be counted.
Were you surprised to see your name on the list?
I was shocked, to say the least.
The Riggs don't know why they were challenged.
I mean, I've been voting for 50 years now. I've never been challenged, never had a problem, and all of a sudden now my vote doesn't count.
Organizer Kate Barr says that's true for thousands of others on the list as well. She says it's disenfranchisement on a massive scale, and it can't be allowed to succeed.
As soon as we set the precedent that if you don't like the outcome of an election, you take it to court and throw it out until you win, we have left the land of democracy and moved into something much closer to what we left back in the revolution.
Republicans say it's an issue of election integrity. NC GOP spokesman Matt Mercer said, "We have been clear that the systemic failures are the fault of the NC State Board of Elections, not voters." That doesn't make Jack Riggs feel any better about potentially having his vote for his daughter thrown out.
This does not feel like election integrity. It feels blank, cold, hard voter suppression.
Laura Leslie, WRAL News, Raleigh.